Hi, guys. Welcome back. Today, we're going to watch some videos of people that are being hit with divorce out of the blue. And in some cases, they actually have some tips and red flags that you can look for just in case your marriage is about to end. And if you're going through a divorce right now, I feel for you. Here's some other people that have gone through that situation. Maybe we can all commiserate together. Yay! Hit the thumbs up, hit subscribe. Let's do this.
My marriage is not perfect, and it never was perfect. And yes, we had our battles, we had our hills, we had our mountains. We were working on them just like anybody else. There are many layers to my personal story on how we got to where we are today. I have loved my husband unconditionally. I have loved him through thick and thin, and there has been a lot of thin. And I have never been a perfect wife. And I will never be a perfect mother. I will never be a perfect human. But I will always try. My husband never once came to me and told me he was unhappy. Not one singular time did he come to me and say he was unhappy with anything. And it was his job to speak to me about how he was feeling if he was unhappy. It is not my job to pull it out of him, nor it is my job to read his mind. I have gone in circles with my therapist about this, asking, but what should I have done different? And the answer keeps remaining that this is not my fault.
I think people love their wife and I think people love their husband until they move on. In other words, you see some really good looking woman or you see some really good looking guy. For some reason, there's a spark there. You end up hanging out when you shouldn't. And before you know it, you're only thinking about them and you end up wanting a divorce. One of the things that she said that I think rings true to a lot of guys is I can't tell you how many times my wife would be angry over seemingly nothing. And then when I would ask her, what did I do that's causing this anger? She would give me like, if I have to tell you, then you must not care enough. And I think she's kind of experiencing that same thing. You expect someone to tell you when they're angry. You don't expect having to like come up with a reason that you did them wrong. Does that make sense?
If your wife moves out the house and she wants to be separated, says she needs a break outside of a couple days, says that she needs some distance outside of a couple days and maybe a week or so, and she no longer wants to be in your presence, she no longer wants to live with you, and she's become cold, mean, and distant. Here's what you need to understand. Your fucking wife is gone. It don't matter how much begging you do. It doesn't matter how much pleading you do. She wants to be with somebody else. She wants to be by herself. Or she may have some type of interest in somebody else or a life without you. Ain't a amount of begging, pleading, or chasing that you can do to get that woman back. She
Yeah, as a matter of fact, begging and pleading seems to have the opposite effect. It makes you more unappealing to them. Definitely. So, do you guys agree with this? Don't look for anger in your partner. Look for indifference. Remember, the opposite of love is not anger. The opposite of love is indifference. If all of a sudden that person that was constantly nagging and trying to debate with you is all of a sudden silent, your days are probably numbered.
Gentlemen, here's how you know if you're at a high risk of divorce. And obviously, there are a lot of signs and a lot of factors, but the biggest sign is that your wife is no longer bothered or no longer gets upset at the things that she used to. She is almost numb to the behaviors that you used to do that would really upset her. And she's also numb to the things that you usually do that would make her happy. So there's this energy of whatever. She's indifferent to you, the good and the bad. This is a sign that your woman is checking out.
So I would totally agree with her with one little caveat. Your husband or wife will always be willing to forgive you, and they will actually not show indifference until that significant other pops into their life. Am I wrong there or not? If you think about it, your husband or wife start ignoring you, those nice things that you do that used to make their day, they could care less now. It's because somebody else has caught their eye. That's just my opinion. Tell me if you think I'm crazy.
Now we know women love to talk, right? it get to the point sometimes you be like, damn, girl, like, be quiet. I'm trying to watch the game. But when women in love, when women want you, they love to talk, man. They love to talk and talk about anything and everything.
Okay.
So when she gets to that point where she no longer wants to talk, where she shuts down, she goes quiet, she's no longer laughing and giggling and playful like she used to be, then you probably should take heed. That means something is lying underneath the surface that need to be brought out. That means she ain't telling you something. That means she feeling some type of way. And today might be the day that she walk out. So you might want to check that out and be like, hey, ask her what's wrong. Because when they go quiet, hey, that's a big red flag.
Yeah, there's one thing that's really bad about marriage nowadays that used to not exist as much. Because we all have cell phones, I'd be willing to bet that if every husband asked their wife to see their cell phone and vice versa, I'd be willing to bet a good half to 75% of spouses out there would not want their husband or wife seeing their phone because of bad situations like them flirting or talking with people that they probably shouldn't be talking with.
2 weeks ago, my husband, my partner for life, I thought, of 5 years, decided he wasn't happy anymore and left. Honestly, it was a normal day. He woke up saying his knees hurted. It was the day after Mother's Day. We had an argument about how he loaded the dishwasher. And next thing you know, he's gone. And 2 days later, I got a text message saying he was done. And my kids are out of school, and I have 4 kids, and it's gonna be 2 months of me trying to hide all these emotions that I'm going through. But every day it's a goddamn roller coaster. And I'm trying to hold together. And I have a 5-month-old. And I have a diabetic daughter, an autistic child.
That's what you call a nightmare situation. Did you guys notice what they supposedly broke up over? Because she and him were arguing how he loaded up the dishwasher, right? He didn't rinse the plates probably enough, so there was some crusted old food up on the dish, right? People don't like that. They can be very particular. But that wasn't really what broke them up. That might have been the straw that broke the camel's back. But what I envision happening is his girlfriend on the side probably said, I need some commitment out of you. I need you to leave your wife. And he probably did. Because let me ask you a question. How the heck could a man leave his wife and 4 kids unless he was the stepdad or unless he had somebody else already in the wings? It's impossible to leave 4 kids for a single life.
All of a sudden, with no encouragement, no motivation, or no word, starts going to the gym, starts switching up her appearance, start looking better. Her new life is biking, her new life is the run club, her new life is always at the gym. She's consistently gone. She's trying new perfumes, she's trying new dresses, she's putting on different clothes, she's switching it up out of nowhere. If she is doing this out of nowhere, your wife is getting ready to leave you.
I totally agree, guys. If your wife starts brushing her teeth with regularity, starts wearing deodorant, stops wearing dirty clothes out of the clothes hamper and starts wearing clean clothes, you are in trouble.
Your wife is scouting for other men. Your wife is scouting for other attention. Or she's putting herself out there as bait to see who's going to catch her and see if that's who she wants to stick along with. I promise you, if you didn't motivate her, if you didn't say nothing about it, and she just got up and started doing it out of nowhere, and you feel the distance, you feel the change, you see what's going on, she's preparing to leave you. I promise.
It's so weird when you're going through things, you don't really see these red flags, or we as human beings try to ignore them, right? If we don't see or hear any evil, then it doesn't exist. But as soon as you go through the divorce, you look back in retrospect and you see all these different telltale signs.
Tell me that your husband doesn't love you anymore without actually telling me your husband doesn't love you anymore. I'll go first. So last night, my husband and I were laying in bed, and I asked him, I said, do you think that when we die, we're going to still be married in heaven? Like, do you think there's marriages in heaven? And do you think that we're going to be married when we die and go to heaven? And he said, I don't know.
I don't know if that's a very good one at all. Maybe he really doesn't know. Technically speaking, the wedding band is supposed to signify forever, right? Eternity. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that when you're married, you go to heaven, or do you think if it was truly heaven, you wouldn't be married? Tell me what you guys think.
As much as I should have seen it coming, I definitely didn't. It was very jarring and traumatizing. He had said at the very beginning that literally the only reason he would leave me is if I cheated on him, and I didn't fucking do that. Shit, this is harder than I thought. I never thought he would be the one to leave. But like I said, I should have absolutely seen it coming. Like 4 or 5 months before he left, he told me that he didn't think we were doing well and that he wanted to do marriage counseling. And like a dumbass, I said no, that I thought we needed to do individual therapy and that I thought he was projecting his own depression onto our marriage. Pro tip, if your partner brings up marriage counseling, just do it. And then on Valentine's Day this year, he brought up that he thought he was polyamorous, that he was struggling with his sexuality, and I was frustratingly trying to be supportive, but telling him that polyamory is a type of relationship and we definitely weren't going that route. And I was already concerned that he was getting too close to one of his female friends, and he kept telling me there was nothing to worry about, blah, blah. Valentine's Day, through the movie that we were supposed to be watching, he was texting her the entire time. So I went into his phone because we had each other's passcodes. I read all the messages and I tried to wake him up. He didn't wake up. I shoved him several times to get him to wake up as I was yelling at him. So I assaulted my own husband. I had already been trying to be the partner that he needed me to be. I had already been working on myself, trying to get past a lot of the borderline personality issues. And he said he would try to get past the events of Valentine's Day, and naively, I thought we could do it on our own. Toward the end of April, he told me he wasn't in love with me anymore, that he hadn't felt connected in a really long time. April 22nd, he told me he wanted a divorce.
That is a heartbreaker. Guys, you might not like what I'm going to say here, but I'm just going to say it. If your husband is bisexual, pansexual, demisexual, or whatever it said, those are not marriage material. If your husband and wife, before you get married, talks about let's have an open relationship, because if we have an open relationship, we can't cheat on one another, those people aren't marriage material. If you feel like you yourself are one of those people, those categories that I just named off, you're really not marriage material. You really don't understand what marriage is all about. And that's coming from a divorced person. If you're married in a successful relationship, you already know my words are true. You should be committed to your husband or wife. And she said another thing there. If your husband or wife says maybe we should go to counseling, there's two ways to look at it. Either go, or more than likely your marriage is already over and she or he is using that so that when you say I don't want to go, that's that final straw that's going to break the camel's back. So either way, either go to counseling or just know that your marriage is probably over.
If you really love someone and they want to leave, let them go. It's the biggest gift you can give them and the last sign of your love. When I asked my husband for a divorce, he looked at me and he said, I don't want this. I want to work through this. And most of all, I want you happy. And if this will make you happy, then okay. And I think I felt more love from him in that gesture than I did the 12 years before. And when I went through my last breakup, and he looked at me and said, when I look at you, I feel absolutely nothing. And don't argue with me. Don't try to debate me. I'm done. The biggest gift that I could give him was letting him go.
I'm one of these guys that if you absolutely love them, fight as much as you possibly can within reason. If somebody wants out of your life, let them go and get your revenge by having a successful life without them. Amen? Speaking of having a successful life with you guys, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button, and come back again tomorrow. We'll watch some more videos together. Have a good night and good luck with your marriage.